And now joining me from Phoenix, Arizona, Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio, an early supporter of GOP frontrunner Donald Trump's presidential campaign, a man whose tough stance on illegal immigration made headlines long before Trump even started talking about it. What got you attracted so early to Donald Trump?
Good question. Actually, I first met him here in the first rally in July. I introduced him. I was with him from the beginning, and I'm still with him, and we'll stick with him to the bitter end. I hope it's a nice end. I just like him. It's not just illegal immigration, although you have to thank him, Larry. He opened the door. Now everybody is talking about it when he opened that door, so that's good. Maybe something will be done about it. But I got to know him even better. I spent 2 hours on his airplane last month and got to know him personally, because when you introduce him, you do it, and then he has to leave all the time on these rallies. So I like the guy. He's a great guy when you sit down and talk to him.
Are you surprised how well he's doing?
Not really, Larry. Just like you, you've been a great success. You're a winner. He's a winner. He's been a great success in business. So this does not surprise me. And he's got a heart. I was a campaign guy honorary for George W. Bush, for Mitt Romney. And then last time around, all these people running for president, some visited me in my office and they called me. I settled with Rick Perry at the time. But there was something about this guy that hit me that was different, and that's what it is. He will make a great president, and as I say, my wife, unfortunately, is very sick, and when he heard that, he called my wife, spent 5 minutes, and then he did it again and again, and he didn't have to go through my wife to get to me. He had me hooked way back in July. So he has a heart, and but still I think he'll make a great president.
Now, you mentioned George W. Bush. George W. Bush was a proponent of better relations with the Mexicans. He certainly was in favor of some sort of status for immigrants. Why are you so opposed to say, why can't we make them become citizens in some way?
Well, there's no problem with that if it's done legally. They keep flooding across that border. I was a regional director in Mexico City, South America, Texas, Arizona as the top federal guy, and now as sheriff for 24 years. I've been sheriff, but I've been fighting this problem, 8, 10 years? Department of Justice launched the investigation against me. Just because I'm obeying and following the state laws and the federal laws. I had authority at the time. It's very complex. It's a complex problem, and something has to be done about it, and nobody does anything, Larry. Every time there's an election, everybody skirts the issue. Now, I'm hoping maybe next time around somebody's really going to do something other than just talk about it.
But the crime rate among illegal immigrants is much less than regular citizens.
Well, you go back a few years. I run the third largest jail system in the country, so I know who's booked into the jail. It was about 18% of people booked into the jail from Mexico that were there for serious crimes, murder and everything else. And that's 18%. It doesn't mean everybody coming across the border are criminals. Well, they are if they come across illegally, technically, but it doesn't mean they're all going around shooting up stores and everything. But the fact is, I have 5,800 people in the jail that we checked on. Were there for all different types of crimes, Larry, turned over to ICE to be deported. Guess what? 3,000 have come back to the same jails I run. One guy came back 24 times. So where's all the deportation? They're letting them on the streets. They're letting criminal-type aliens on the streets. So something's broken in this government. Very, very strange what's going on.
Do you think Trump will get the nomination?
Oh, yeah. I think he'll be the next president, quite frankly.
You think he would defeat Hillary? Hillary would be favored to beat him.
Well, I said before, he's a winner, and he's going to beat Hillary. He's the only one that can beat Hillary when you get right down to it. So we'll see what happens when he reaches that stage. I'll be right there with him. Actually, Hillary badmouthed me on national TV, and Sanders, he really threatened me. He said, when he gets to power, watch out, Joe. I don't know what that means. Was he coming after me with guns? I don't know what it means. So, you know, I'm become a high-profile guy. I always have been. Egotistical.
Would you support any Republican? Would you support Kasich or Cruz if they got the nomination?
Of course. I'm not too happy what's going on in the Republican Party. I'll probably be a delegate. He wants me to be a delegate, so I will. Spend a little time in Cleveland. Hope they have a good Italian neighborhoods. But yeah, of course, I'm going to stick Republicans. You know, as I say, I'm not too happy the way they're trying to zero in on Trump. That's not fair. But that's the way the politics are. You know that, Larry. You've been around a long time.
Sheriff, how did you get to be so controversial? Why does America know you?
I'll tell you why, Larry. I joined the Army when the Korean War broke out. I was a cop in D.C., a cop in Vegas, 28 years with the Federal Drug Enforcement. I always had a boss, always had to report to someone. Isn't it great being the elected constitutional sheriff? I only report to the people, which are 4 million that live in my county. So by reporting to the people, not having to worry about the bureaucrats that we have, you always have to ask somebody what to do. So I'm a senior citizen too. I've been around in law enforcement 55 years, so I don't have all these degrees, but I think I have some type of life experience, and I think I have a little common sense, so sometimes I take chances. I didn't run for sheriff to make money. I actually don't make that much. I want to make a difference. I take chances. I started out putting people in tent cities. I can go on and on. So I made a reputation way before this controversial illegal immigration problem came up. And I have 24 years as sheriff, and I started, Larry, at 60.
Wow.
Years old. So 24 years as sheriff, you know, I'm a senior citizen.
So you run the jail as well as the police department?
I do all the law enforcement, the county, although I have jurisdiction everywhere. Plus I run the third largest jail system. So it's the third largest sheriff's office in the country. And, you know, I have some problems once in a while, but you're only as good as the people that work for you. No, I stick my nose out.
The jail is not a prison. Most people in jail are there either under a year or pending trial, right?
You got it straight. You're right. Okay.
So why, if they're pending trial, it doesn't require toughness because they're innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yeah, but I don't run a first, second-class airline system. Everybody eats the vegetarian meals. They wear the pink underwear. They don't smoke. Everybody's treated the same, except for those convicted. I put them in a tent, put them on chain gangs. They have to work. But those others, they stay in our other jails until they go to trial and then see what happens. But I don't have a different class service. Everybody's treated the same.
What's the biggest law enforcement problem in your county?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, having 55 years fighting the drug traffic all over the world, including Turkey when I was there, and we just made a big bust this week. Another one is the drug problem. When Donald says put up the wall, okay, it will make a difference, but why is it every politician that goes to the border stands before the chicken wall, chicken fence, and all they talk about is illegal immigration? Why don't they talk about the drugs? 95% of the drugs coming into our country, heroin, is coming from Mexico, and nobody talks about it. So if the wall can keep the drug traffickers out, I think that's a big step.
Joe, I love talking with you. I hope to see you again soon.